She stood there silently, just trying to do her job. But to him, she was invisible, just a waitress who didn't deserve respect. He laughed loudly, mocking her for not speaking his language, daring her to act smarter in front of his wealthy friends. The restaurant froze, eyes filled with judgment, humiliation burning deep. But what he didn't know was that the girl he tried to embarrass carried a secret, one that could destroy his arrogance in seconds. Because behind that quiet smile was a mind capable of speaking not just one, but 9 languages. And when she finally revealed the truth, the entire room changed. Would he regret ever underestimating her? Before that humiliating night, Mei Lin was simply a young woman working hard to build a life far from home. She came to this city with nothing but determination and the dream of giving her family a better future. Every morning, she woke before sunrise, tying her hair back and stepping into the elegant world of the 5-star restaurant where she worked. A place filled with glittering chandeliers, quiet music, and customers who believed they ruled the world. To them, she was just a face in a uniform, someone to snap fingers at, someone to make their orders appear like magic. But behind her calm expression was a woman who had survived struggle after struggle. She spoke 9 languages, not because life was easy, but because it demanded she learn to adapt, to fight, to rise. Still, no matter how polite she was, no matter how hard she worked, there were moments when the stares felt sharp, when whispers clung to her back like shadows. She wasn't blind to prejudice. She had tasted it too many times before. But tonight felt different, heavier. The night was fully booked. Powerful, wealthy guests filled every table. The kind of people who judged her not by her skill, but by her skin, her accent, her origins. And as Mei moved calmly through the dining room, she felt a shift in the air, a tension rising like a storm quietly gathering strength. She had no idea that, in just a few minutes, someone would try to crush her dignity in front of an entire room, and that her response would make them regret ever looking down on her. The moment he walked in, everything changed. The millionaire, Leon Harrington, entered like he owned the air itself. A man who thrived on power and attention. With a tailored suit, polished shoes, and a laugh loud enough to demand notice, he commanded the room effortlessly. His 2 business partners followed behind, each trying to match his arrogance. To them, this wasn't just dinner, it was a performance of wealth. Mei approached their table with the same polite professionalism she offered everyone. She greeted them, carefully noting their preferences, offering recommendations with practiced grace. But the second Harrington heard her soft accent. The spark of mockery flickered in his eyes. To him, accents weren't signs of knowledge or culture. They were labels, proof someone was beneath him. "Interesting staff they hire here," he said loudly enough for nearby guests to hear, glancing at Mei as if she were a curiosity rather than a human being. His friends smirked, already entertained. Mei's heartbeat quickened, but her face stayed neutral. She'd learned long ago not to give bullies the reaction they wanted. She continued taking their order, her pen steady even as his comments grew sharper. Then came the moment, the one designed to humiliate. Harrington leaned back, arms crossed, eyes narrowed in challenge. He demanded she speak to him in Chinese. When she responded politely in English, explaining she could assist perfectly well, he laughed. A cruel, booming sound that cut through the restaurant's calm elegance. Heads turned. Nearby diners paused. The humiliation was no longer private. It was a spectacle. He mocked her intelligence, her heritage, her purpose. He acted like speaking his preferred language was the only measure of worth. And because she wasn't doing it for his amusement, he declared her useless. Whispers filled the room. Phones subtly lifted, recording. Every second stretched painfully long. Mei felt heat rise in her chest. Not shame, but strength. She had swallowed insults before. But tonight, something inside her refused to stay silent. The very talent he was ridiculing her for was the one thing that could cut through his arrogance like a blade. Her hands trembled slightly as she set his drink down, but her eyes finally met his, steady, fearless. He had no idea he was seconds away from being exposed. And soon, the entire room would witness a shift so powerful that his laughter would be replaced with silence. a silence filled with undeniable respect. The restaurant fell silent as Mei straightened, her calm composure masking the fire burning inside. Harrington smirked, certain she would cower or mumble in embarrassment. But Mei's eyes met his, steady and unflinching. Then she spoke. First, in perfect Chinese, clear and precise, she answered his challenge effortlessly. The words flowed naturally, commanding attention and respect. Every syllable landed like a gentle but undeniable slap to his arrogance. His jaw tightened. A murmur of astonishment rippled through the room. Guests craned their necks, unable to believe what they were hearing. But Mei didn't stop there. One by one, she shifted seamlessly into French, Spanish, Italian, Arabic, German, Russian, and a final flourish in Japanese. Each language was delivered flawlessly, punctuated by her quiet confidence. The room was captivated. Phones recorded. Whispers turned into awed gasps. Harrington's face drained of color. His friends exchanged shocked glances, their smug amusement evaporating in seconds. The power dynamic had flipped entirely. The man who had mocked her, humiliated her, and assumed his wealth made him untouchable, now looked small, exposed, and utterly wrong. Mei's hands remained steady. Her calm, unyielding presence screamed a truth no arrogance could deny. Intelligence, skill, and dignity are not measured by wealth, or the narrow prejudices of one man. Every eye in the room saw it. Every heartbeat felt it. And Harrington, for the first time that night, realized he had underestimated someone who refused to be invisible. The silence was deafening. Respect replaced mockery. And Mei Lin, the girl he tried to humiliate, had the last word, without a single raised voice, without a single apology demanded. The room remained silent for a heartbeat longer than anyone expected. Then, slowly, the tension melted into quiet admiration. Mei Lin returned to her work, her movements graceful and unaffected, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. But everyone present knew the truth. She had turned humiliation into triumph, arrogance into humility, and mockery into respect, all without raising her voice. Harrington sat frozen, the sting of his own arrogance pressing against him. He had tried to belittle her, to assert his wealth and power as the ultimate measure of worth, but the lesson had landed with unstoppable clarity. Intelligence, dignity, and courage were not bound by money, titles, or appearances. They were earned in moments like this. For Mei, the night was more than a victory. It was a reminder that resilience and self-belief are the strongest languages of all. She had not only defended herself, she had shown everyone present that true strength is quiet, precise, and undeniable. Her story would ripple beyond this one evening, a quiet beacon for anyone who had ever been underestimated, dismissed, or judged unfairly. And for Harrington, he would never look at anyone or anything the same way again. The real power, it turned out, was never in wealth or status. It was in knowledge, grace, and courage, the ability to rise above ignorance and make a statement that words, skills, and confidence could never be ignored. So, when someone tries to humiliate you to make you feel small, remember Mei Lin. Remember that sometimes the quietest person in the room can speak volumes, in ways that no one will ever forget. Who else has been underestimated? And what would happen if they finally proved everyone wrong?